There's been an interesting rumor doing the rounds for WWE 2K22. The rumor goes that released wrestlers might still end up in WWE 2K22. For fans, of course, that is good news. It lets us play some of the characters that otherwise wouldn't be possible, and if you don't want to play as them, you simply don't. But it's quite interesting news, and in this video we're going to go over how this might be possible and why this might be happening and what we may expect. During the development of a sports game like WWE 2K22, at some point the dev team will mocap, in this case, the wrestlers. This is to get the models for these wrestlers into the game. The faces will then have to be scanned and sculpted and added to the game as well. In 2K's case, they need to add entrances, signature moves, and taunts, and all these type of movements. It's a lot of work to get these people into the game and make them as customizable as they are. Imagine being part of this development team. You just scanned John Morrison, Karrion Kross, and Keith Lee, and a week later, they are released. I guess mocapping, especially on a new engine, would start very early during development, meaning 2K has probably been molding characters since early 2020. And with every release, some of that hard work would be gone. Considering the timing of this rumor, I'm guessing they are going to keep the finalized models for people who've been recently released. So we won't get Gallows and Anderson, who've been gone for over a year, but the likes of Braun Strowman, The Fiend, Keith Lee, John Morrison, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and, other really recent released superstars might still end up in the game. Now to answer the question, are they allowed to put people in the game that aren't with the company anymore? And the answer is probably. It's not extremely easy to find out how WWE 2K's licensing works, but this is apparently how it works. Wrestlers need to sign a contract to be included into the game. They then have their model sculptured and likeness captured as per the contract. This means that at that point, 2K would have the full rights to use the captured model and add it to the game. The wrestler signed off on it, probably received some sort of compensation. So regardless of what happens, this contract is not technically finalized. To add to that, WWE owes a lot of the names of the wrestlers, at least their WWE names, meaning they have the full right to profit from those names. After all, if he gets added, for example, we'll be playing as the fictional character John Morrison and not the person John Hannigan. You might wonder, why wouldn't WWE use other released people to fill up the rosters? This has two reasons. The first, WWE wouldn't want to promote wrestlers that aren't with them anymore. That's one of the logical answers. Secondly, the contract we spoke of earlier, they are apparently per game, meaning that someone released in, let's say, 2014 wouldn't have been in WWE 2K15 because they were gone by the time these contracts were finalized. Or if we have one or two people that were captured and scanned and all that, and they were released, and you wouldn't use those two characters on the grand scheme of it all, it would be minimum of work wasted. This year, however, we've had tons of releases. We've also seen a lot of new faces, especially in NXT, but you can't model all these new faces before the release of the game. That would be insanity. That would be way too much work. In the end, you can't get enough new characters, and you don't want to have a small roster, so the only option that's left is to use the old models of the recently released wrestlers. Now, I hope this was somewhat informative. Like I mentioned, there's not a whole lot of details that you can find about how the contracts and the licensing works, but this is about the grand scheme of things you can find. So I hope that answered some of the questions you may have. If so, let me know in the comments. If not, also let me know in the comments. Tell me what wrestlers you hope still make it to the game, despite them being released. And let me know if this news make you more or less hyped for WWE 2K22? While you're typing down there, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and of course, thank you for watching.